Well, to make a bushcraft biscuit, the whole idea, of course, is is baking in the woods is something that I've always wanted to be able to do well. So I've played around with a lot of different ideas on that. And of course, most people who bake at camp use some type of Dutch oven or something like that. I've seen lots of different tries on different things, and I've done, the bread in the ashes and lots of different things, tin foil. I even have one thing that I'm working on is a butter dish with a top that screws down on it. You might see that later, but it looks kind of funny carrying a butter dish around in your backpack, but anyway, the top goes down, and the little top that's on there actually has a screw in it, and it tightens it down so it'll hold it, and we can put ashes around it. That has worked. I've done that before, but what I've really came up with was something that I think would really work, because if you're carrying a Dutch oven into the woods, I have a 3/4 quart Dutch oven. It weighs 4 pounds. Now that's a tent or a massive sleeping bag, lots of different things that I could do with 4 extra pounds in my pack rather than have a tiny Dutch oven for 1 or 2 meals or for just for baking. So what I've come up with is this little Boy Scout tin. It's a little, you see these all over the place. They're really inexpensive. So this is what I'm going to bake my bread in. One of the ideas about baking is, of course, is if you have an air gap between the bread or between the the flour or the biscuit and the walls, then it won't burn. So this has got this little indent right here on the inside. So we're actually just going to put this down and then cover it with coals all the way around and let convection heat cook the bottom, and hopefully it won't touch anything else, and we'll get a nice brown biscuit. Don't know that's what's going to happen, but we're going to give that a try. But first of all, we got to do is mix up our bread. So I got a little bowl here. Now this is a flour mix that does have some leavening already in it. Now this is the clarified butter that I showed you how to make, called ghee. And so we're just going to put a nice helping of that right into my flour. We're just going to cut that in, or fork it in, whatever you want to call it. Now to go with that, I need a tablespoon or 2 of water. Make some nice sides. Fix it up. Okay. One of the things that I do have with me is a little bit of cheese. A little packet of cheese here. Thought I might try to put a little bit of that in with it. And then something that's going to cause all kind of heartache. It's probably this little packet of pre-cooked bacon. Little bacon crumbles. Just putting some Crisco down in there. We'll put that right in the middle. Kind of press it down, just like so. Now, what the deal is I got the top like this, and I put a screw in it instead of the little handle that was on it that would burn up. And I have a couple of these clips like that. And this is to hold the top in place, because the deal is to cover this with ashes and then let it cook. Okay, just count out the time. Okay, well, it's been about 20 minutes on the biscuit, and I'm concerned greatly about what it looks like. At home you have ovens that are perfect. You have a way to put a temperature probe in it, but here you're just guessing at it at best. And this being a very thin-walled compartment, I'm really concerned about it being too hot and burning the biscuit, or it not being done. I don't know, and I put way too much butter in there, so we're allowed to have a sloppy mess, okay? But we're going to take a look at it. All right, so what we're going to do is going to lift out of there, and we'll try to dump these off. Hopefully the little clips are holding. I hear bread sliding free. And this is one really hot pot. So I'm going to take these clips off. This back over. And lift the top out. Alright. It's not quite done, I don't think. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it's really heavy. It's really heavy. But you know what? It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Now, can we do better? Yeah, if I had to put all that butter in there, I think we'd have done a lot better. Get this glove off. It's so dirty. Yeah, that's kind of a doughy little booger. Yep, see now we got some, I've never cooked it with the bacon and the cheese, so you know, obviously that makes some difference. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I put way too much butter in this. But I think there's purpose here. And whether I like it or not, it is my lunch. Now, what you could do is put this back in on the pan and then fry it a little bit. Why don't we do that? Let's see if this bell's hot. So the plan here is to actually turn this into fry bread. And some bacon in there. Now this is also the other way. I actually like to make fry bread, and I like to cook it in a frying pan. But it's not the same as a biscuit. So here we are. Let's see what happens. Yeah, there's way too much butter in that. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. And I'm going to eat it. Oh, well, hey. Well, it's done, but it's doughy because of all that stupid butter I put in it. See, it looks like a piece of biscuit with bacon. I'm not going to say it's delightful. It's not bad. But man, is that rich. It's got some butter. And I think I'm going to douse it down with some good old maple syrup. Because I do like pancakes and syrup. You know, maple syrup makes everything better. Everything. Yes, I am eating it. If you screw up your food, you still have to eat it. The reason why I showed you my mistakes about making the biscuit and, you know, the idea that it will cook or it won't cook, I think it'll cook. I think it'll be just fine. I just put way too much butter in that, and I shouldn't have done that. But, you know, it's all about adjusting, you know, to the timing and learning what to do. There's no way I'm carrying a 4-pound pot in my backpack anywhere. That's not going to happen. But I would take this little tin because it weighs just a couple of ounces at best. It's really thin, but I believe, you know, that particular system works. Maybe why don't you work on that and see what you'd come up with, and then show me what it is. The thing I think, the thing I think that matters the most is that when you're doing bushcraft or you're doing outdoor living skills, boy, that coffee really sent me to burping. When you're doing that, I want you to make it yours. I want you to know what the other people say, you know, study what they do. That way you're kind of ahead of the idea. You shouldn't have to learn from scratch about things. But until you do a thing, you will not learn it. So get out there, give it a try, find you a great place in the woods, set up camp, go at it, have some fun, you know, see what you can come up with. Leave no trace. You pack it in, you pack it out. This is Mike B from Mike's Wild World. Remember that next time you're in the woods.